Jaime from Inky and Scrappy, joining you today on the Crescent Creations YouTube channel, playing with some new Lawn Fawn, some old Lawn Fawn, and some MFT stamps. I actually recorded this one live, but since I couldn't get it to actually go live on the Crescent Creations channel, I'm bringing it to you in a sped up version. So I'm taking my November Inky and Scrappy card class kit and making it into Valentine's Day. I had planned on doing these back in December and just didn't get around to all of the things. So I watercolored all of my Yeti images from my favorite things, Beast Friends stamp set with Distress inks and Distress Mica spray stain. So the trees, I used a Distress Mica spray stain. And then for my panel there, it is the Lawn Fawn Inside Out Scalloped rectangle die and then the Lawn Fawn Inside Out Stitch circle dies. I just tape them together and run them through my die cut machine multiple times to get that window with that scallop frame to it. So I have a bunch of those laying around because they're already ready. So I'm working on that background panel that's going to actually show through that circle. So I had decided to go in with pinks on this one to kind of, get more of that hearts and Valentine style theme. I'm just using MFT's, I think it's mini cloud stencil or cloud stencil, one or the other. I don't remember which one I had pulled out there. And then I'm coming in with a Brutus Monroe aqua pigment or aqua, I think they're called aqua pigments. This one is red frost. It just has a tiny red tint to the mica flake once it dries. So it's fairly white, but that mica flake has just a tiny red tint to it when it hits the light just right. Any mica works wonderfully to add that hint of sparkle. Lawn Fawn's, is it sparkle dust or stardust liquid stuff works in the same way. I'm just cutting down my acetate sheet so it is smaller than my scalp panel but bigger than my circle. And then I will come in here with some score style or double-sided tape just to add in that acetate panel right on top. Or on the back side, not on top, sorry. So I'll pull all of that up, add in my acetate panel there, and then I can figure out where I'm going to go from here. I kind of had somewhat of an idea what I wanted. I wanted to bring in those, just the heart banner from that background, the new background banner set. I'm coming in with some, it's actually the opposite side of a pre-cut hill that I had done for something else. So I'm using the scrap side. So this way it doesn't have that stitched edge to it, but you could definitely use the stitched edge and it would look beautiful as well. So I'm just using a spare piece there as kind of a guide because I already put the acetate on my window, so I can't really, add my trees through the window anymore. I guess I probably could have done it the other way around, but And then realizing that my little Yeti is going to be sitting in the middle there, so if I put the tree in the middle, it's just going to get covered up anyways. And I think my big tree was just a little bit too far up, and I wasn't in love with the placement once I actually had my window panel on there. And then I'm going to just tuck that tree in to the other one, add another one. I think I like that better. I'm just building the scene. This is really my favorite part of card making, is just building the scene and kind of, having fun, not having a predisposed plan, so to say. So I am using Crescent Creations foam strips here. They are a lot thicker than the other ones that I usually use or that I have on hand. So these ones are, I want to say, comparable to, I think Hefty Doodle has like the shaker foam that's thicker, and the Crescent Creations foam strips are that same thickness. So they're definitely higher. Instead of doing a double layer of foam adhesive, you only have to do one. They work beautifully. I would say pick up a couple because then you can cut them down to an A2. If you do A2 a lot like I do, I like to cut down my strips into an A2 size, so it makes my life a little bit easier in the long run. So I'll do one sheet as an A2 5, like 5 1/4, and then the other one I do at that 4-inch mark or 4 1/4. And then I usually don't have to cut it down quite as much if I'm doing a full panel, but it works to keep it whole as well, I guess. I had die cut that dot holographic paper from Crescent Creations here and the red glitter paper. So the red glitter paper comes with, I think it's the Christmas pack, so it's red and green, but that red works gorgeous for Valentine's Day. And then, of course, you know, the holographic paper works all year long because it's just pretty. So I have one banner on the inside of my shaker here, and then I'm going to come in with some, I was kind of going between the red calla lily seed beads, and I ended up doing the silver ones, but I'm going in with the red and pink I love hearts, and then I thought the little envelopes with the little red heart on the sealed flap would be really cute in there too, because Mr. Yeti is getting ready for his Valentine's Day party. So once I have those on my panel, I will lay my top on there, and then because I still have adhesive sticking out, I'm going to put that right onto a card base right away. A lot of times I will wait until I am all done, but being that my adhesive kind of sticks out and would stick to my surface, I will just do it this way. And there is my shaker on top of my card. So now I just have to finish decorating this one up. Trying to decide where my little Yeti is going to go and what I'm going to do for my sentiment. So on the original one, I had stamped right on the panel, and for this one, I decided that banner that comes with the Heart Garland landscape die would be perfect to add a pop of that red, so it'll pull in the red from the lights that the Yeti is holding, and then of course the red sparkly lights from the background, as well as those red hearts in my shaker mix. So I'm going to add them off to the side just a teeny tiny little bit. I don't want to cover up all of my trees. I kind of want him to be center, but not quite. He doesn't have to be center on it. He just needs to be kind of in that window scene. And then I will take my Misty back out here and add in the I Heart You stamp set. This one comes from Lawn Fawn's, I want to say it's the Simple Hearts or Sweet Hearts. It was free last year with purchase at Lawn Fawn, but they actually released it this year with their Valentine's release. So it's got all the little love words that works in there. There is a Happy Valentine's in there, the I Heart You, I Love You. There's a bunch of other ones in there. So if you're looking for a good love style stamp set, that is the one to pick up. And then I'm just going to come in with some white embossing powder here. I use Brutus Monroe's Alabaster White, a fine detail white from either Ranger or I think Lawn Fawn has one too. I just don't have it, so I can't tell you if I like it or not. And then I will just buff off my anti-static powder, and then I will work on my folds on this one, kind of folding it with it, and then to get it to actually go in the right direction, I'll fold them backwards. A lot of times it's easier to fold it the way that the die kind of presses it in, and then to fold it the way that you want it after a while. So I'm just coming in with a thinner piece of foam here to do on the center so it kind of sticks up, and then I'll add a little bit of glue to each one of those little flag banners, and then I will center that, well, eyeball center that, and put that on the front there, and then I will come back in and finish up with the rest of my hearts on that garland piece, if I can find them, because you know it's kind of how I roll. I was planning on doing that one there, and then I realized that I was going to have a red on red, and then my other ones, my holographic ones would be the two of them would be really close to the other one, so I just switched it out a little bit there. No big deal. I will add the rest of those ones in. And then I will, that is the end. Oh, I will add, oh, I didn't need to add in. I was going to put black glossies on the sides, but I actually had done heat embossing on my images, so he already had glossy eyes. And so I was trying to decide if I wanted something else on there, and I think that is what I ended up finishing it with. I ended up doing the inside. So for the inside, I did cut apart my stamp set. I do like the fact that I can cut this one apart and do the inside stacked, and I can always go back and do it as a straight line again. But this one says sending lots of love, and I kind of just like the lots of love without the sending on it as its own kind of stamp. And so this way it has, to me, it gives it a little bit more use, but some people don't like to cut them, which is totally fine. I understand it. So I'm just using those red glittered hearts again to pull in that outside into the inside, just adding 3 to kind of tie that all in. And there is my completed shaker card, reimagined from that Christmas card. So I hope you have a great one. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep getting inky.